All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth with Ben Jokes. Now, there is a simple reason we have three arms of government. It is because power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. The most powerful document that regulates a democracy is the Constitution. There is a reason the responsibility of translating the Constitution was given to the judiciary. It was to curb the great powers given to the executives, particularly the president. But when you allow the office of the president to control the judiciary, then the nation is finished. And this was one of the major things that patriotic Nigerians cried against during the presidential election petition tribunal. When the dictates of the constitution can be overlooked to deliver judgment, whether good or bad, to favor somebody, then the nation is tending towards anarchy. We cried and cried, but Nigerian governors and other executives and prominent Nigerians didn't see anything wrong in it. To them, it was a party affair. Besides, they also manipulate the judiciary in their own favor at different times. Now, a war of attrition has started between Tinubu and Nigerian governors as he has moved to cripple governors using that same judiciary. The federal government initiated the case between governors and local governments looking for autonomy. Now, local governments having autonomy, that is getting their allocation straight from the federal government instead of passing through governors, is a good thing. It's not a bad thing, don't get me wrong. But there is a provision of the constitution that prevents local governments from dealing directly with federal government. That provision has been the leverage for state governors. Now, presidency influenced the judiciary to punish governors by ignoring that part of the constitution, and as such, granted the local government autonomy. Now, governors are crying that judiciary has been manipulated, and they have started an agitation. But when we cried about the manipulation of the judiciary, they called us names. Before I give you details of that exchange and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video. This video is from a member of the national leadership of the Middle Belt Forum. Look at what he has to say about the creation of a livestock ministry by the government.
Is a leadership problem that we have in this country. And to answer your question directly for the benefit of Nigerians that are listening, is no, we don't need a new ministry. We don't. And the reason I say this, if you look at the mandate of the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, the first mandate says that it should secure food security for crop, livestock, and fisheries. Now you already have Ministry for Rural Development that can handle it. To create another bureaucracy to come and be doing the same thing is the reason why we set up the Orosaraya Report Committee in the first place. So what are you doing? I honestly think at this juncture that it should have been a task force headed by the president to intervene. And please allow me to say here that when you call it farmer headers classes, as somebody who is in the national leadership of the Middle Belt Forum, I am insulted. I get offended. That's not what the issues are. The issue is land grabbing, banditry, displacement, changing of demography. That is what is happening to my people in the Middle Belt. So please don't tell me about what you call it, farmer headers clashes. That is moving away from the real issues. So coming back to this, I will tell you that when we look at it at face value, you say, when you read from the statement of the president, you say it's a Ministry of Livestock. So am I going to get Ministry of Farmers someday? I mean, I'm just saying that rhetorically. Are we going to get Ministry of Farmers someday?
Presumably that's what Ministry of Agriculture covers.
No, agriculture, maybe that one is for fishery. So anytime you have a challenge,
I like that, yeah.
You heard that. The creation of that ministry is one of the moves that underscore all we have been saying about the leadership pattern in Nigeria. You create a whole ministry for a job that 10 to 20 people can do. It clearly shows that you are most likely not interested in doing that job. It's just another avenue to siphon money. It won't resolve the farmers' headers clash. And the speaker has once again reiterated that what is happening in Benue Plateau and other parts of the Middle Belt is not just a clash between Fulanis and farmers. He said it is an agenda of land grabbing and ethnic extermination, and I have never had any doubt about that. So the government of the day, just like the Buhari government, is dodging the main issue. There is no ministry that can address an agenda. The matter must be laid bare on the table, and the headers must be told that they cannot have people's ancestral lands. Point blank, period. Now, let us look at the war of attrition between Tinubu and the governors. First of all, Tinubu's spokesperson came out to confirm that Tinubu indeed influenced the judiciary to rule against the governors. Let's take a look at that statement. Local government autonomy. Tinubu instrumental in Supreme Court's verdict against governors. Presidency. Dada Olusegun, a media aide to Bola Tinubu, has attributed the Supreme Court's recent ruling on local government financial autonomy to the efforts of the former Lagos State governor. Following the Supreme Court's verdict on Thursday, which mandates that all local government areas receive their monthly allocations directly into their accounts, Mr. Olusegun said on X, "The victory at the Supreme Court today did not come out of the blue," Mr. Olusegun said, referencing the landmark judgment that grants local government financial autonomy. It is the result of a conscious effort, part of Bola Ahmed Tinubu's commitment to decentralizing power and empowering grassroots communities, Mr. Olusegun added, referencing pages 68 and 69 of the Renewed Hope Manifesto, which is a pact with Nigerians that will be used to grade this government in 4 years. In May, the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, initiated legal action to compel state governors to confer full autonomy on local governments. On Thursday, Justice Emmanuel Ajim, leading a 7-member panel of the Supreme Court, issued the historic ruling. Henceforth, no payment of the local government area allocations to the state governor accounts, Mr. Ajim declared. The judgment resolves a long-standing legal dispute over local government autonomy and ensures that the 774 local government areas will now receive their allocations directly from the federal government. Now, what this does is that it removes the control of local governments from the hands of the governors to the hands of the federal government, to the hands of the president. So, governors are now almost useless. You can no longer control the local government under you. So, what are you doing as a governor? It is now one man sitting at the top that controls the 774 local government areas. So for a good man, if a good man does this, this is something really good for power to go down to the grassroots. But when a power-drunk person does it, he is trying to control all those local governments. Tell you what, when Tinubu was governor of Lagos and Obasanjo was president of Nigeria, Obasanjo wanted to grant local governments autonomy. Tinubu fought it. He made sure that it didn't work. Now he is there and he's granting them autonomy so that he can control everything. And the governors are mad. Oh, they are crying foul. In fact, they have started their agitation. As we speak, Nigerian governors have called for an emergency meeting to know how to respond to this move by Tinubu. But even before the meeting, Adamawa State Governor has already sued federal government again. He is asking the Supreme Court to come and explain how they ignored that aspect of the Constitution that favors the governors. The same way we were asking them to explain the 25% in the FCT clause. Look at how the papers reported it. Supreme Court. Adamawa sues federal government over distribution of revenue from federation accounts. Adamawa government seeks interpretation of Section 162 of the Constitution before the Apex Court. The Adamawa State government is seeking the Supreme Court's interpretation of Section 162, subsection 123 of the Constitution regarding the distribution of revenue from the federation accounts. Then look at this. The Nigerian Governors Forum has scheduled an emergency meeting to assess the outcome of the Supreme Court's decision regarding local government autonomy. And look at how Nigerians reacted to this. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. This tweet by Mr. Ebony says, "Whatever emergency meeting they decide to hold, will not change the judgment of the Supreme Court. But Dissent here thinks differently. He says they play. Whatever governors decide stands. And Samuel Victor says emergency meeting on local government money, but they've not called emergency meeting on insecurity and poverty issues in the land. I think Nigerians can see now their number one enemy they need to attack urgently. Oh, you see the game now. This is Tinubu now turning the people on the governors. After they helped to rig him in, he's now turning the people on them, and it is good for them. I don't care at all. And this tweet by YM Yusuf here says, if they don't want the Supreme Court judgment, they should resign honorably. That is it. When we were here crying, all eyes on the judiciary, all eyes on the judiciary, we should not allow the judiciary to be manipulated by one man. They called us names. They refused to join the call for a transparent judiciary because they were also using it to manipulate their way. Now it is working against them and they are holding emergency meetings. They can hold emergency meetings all they want. Whatever is the outcome, I don't care. But now we have seen that if we allow things to go wrong, it will affect everybody. On the issue of autonomy itself, I am not excited because I know the problem. I know that no matter the autonomy you grant them, if the APC remains in charge, they are still going to do godfatherism and make sure they put the most corrupt people as local government chairmen. So this change we are talking about, the people are not going to see it. It is still the same chain of corruption. To get things working, there is only one thing that needs to be done as starters, and that is to come together and kick the APC out of power. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because of una. Now I dey here, so don't go away. Don't go.